Okay, we are live. We'll wait for some time for the
Sure,
attendees to join and then we'll start.
sure. Are you also live in YouTube and Facebook? You are muted, Dr. Aditi. I can't hear you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure whether it will be live. I think it's live.
Okay, but
And
because people
and it will
asking me
be
how
shown.
to join
It will be shown.
actually.
Sorry.
People asking me that how to join. I actually shared those links. If they register, I think they will get a mail, right?
They must have gotten 3 mails like 4 hours before, 15 minutes before, like that.
Can we see that audience joined here?
5 people have joined right now.
Okay. All right. I can see right now. Yeah.
Should we start? What do you think? Or wait for some time? Like 5 minutes have
Mm,
passed.
yes, I think we can start. Attendees will join.
Sorry?
I think we can start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So good evening to all the viewers who have joined the webinar. I hope everyone is healthy and ready and excited for the intriguing session of today. I am Dr. Aditi. I'll be the moderator for today. I welcome you all. Also, a special thanks to Mr. Manish Jain, sir, the director of BHMS Publishers, and the team for providing the platform Homeopathy 360 to showcase talent and people's medal. So the topic of discussion for today is the importance of research and standardization in homeopathy. I want to say that through this session, if any query arises, please drop in the chat box. We will be discussing those at the end with the doctor. So now let me introduce you to the speaker of the day, Dr. Sutanu Patra. Welcome, sir. Uh,
Thank you.
okay, so now a brief introduction about Dr. Sutanu. Dr. Patra is a BHMS graduate and the first youngest STHS scholar when he was in the first year of BHMS. Since then, his interest and journey in research started. He also participated and presented in many national and international conferences. He is the head of the Department of Homeopathy and International Coordinator of Studies at the Nyarkote University, which is the College of Holistic Medicine and Technology, in Ghana. Presently, Dr. Patra is pursuing MSc in Biomedical Sciences at SRIHER, Chennai, to prepare himself to be a medical scientist in future. So a great bio, a great CV. Okay. 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 So now without wasting any time, I hand over the session to you, Dr. Sutanu.
Thank you, Dr. Aditi, for a nice introduction. And thank you to the Homeopathy 360 and the team, and especially Manish Jain, sir, for giving an opportunity to share my views on this topic and to organizing this webinar. So let's start. So, as Dr. Aditi mentioned, that I did my BHMS from Midnapur Homeopathy Medical College and Hospital, West Bengal. And since I was in first year, uh, due to the STSH project of CCRH, that was the first year in 2014. Uh, so I applied for that STSH program, and being in the first year, it was a very unknown field for me, but it was, very enthusiastic, and I was always want to be a researcher and also a doctor. So at that time, I thought to give it a try and to explore. And I worked hard with my guide and mentors. And finally, I got the STSH scholarship with research experience. So that was the starting. After that, I got interested more into the research, and with my studies, I tried to attend conferences, tried to present post presentation, oral presentation, and like that, after completing the BHMS with 1 year of internship and house staffship, I followed my passion and joined Sri Ramachandra Institute for Higher Education and Research in Chennai for pursuing MSc in Biomedical Sciences, and I'm doing it right now.
Okay,
So,
sir. Okay.
yeah. So, for actually, I'm here with all of you today to share or to explain the facts on the importance of research and standardization in homeopathy. So this webinar will be like a usual webinar. It will be little bit an interactive session with me and Dr. Aditi. So
Yeah.
Dr. Aditi, let's start.
Okay. Okay, sir. So we all know that homeopathy is practiced in large number, but
Yeah,
there is always a limit to its utilization. So I would like you to put some light on it and then, yeah, explain us.
sure. You right little that homeopathy is
Hmm.
being practiced since more than 200 years. Okay, but why there is a limit? So for that, let go back to the history. Okay, let's see how why homeopathy was and where we are standing right now. So we all know who are from the homeopathy background or who little bit studied about homeopathy that it started around the last of 18th century when a medical graduate of that time, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, he actually discovered this homeopathy, and he was unhappy about the that time of contemporary treatment called antipathy. It was very tortuous. So around at 1781, he started his practice. After that, he dropped the practice. He was working as a translator, as he don't did not want to actually practice this type of torturous treatments. And accidentally, he found out the actually about the like you like or the law of similia. So with that, he gave this name to this new system as like homeopathy. And after that, many enthusiast people joined with Dr. Hahnemann, and they spread this homeopathy that time around all over the world. And it was very popular at that time. There was hospitals in UK, US, okay, and there was all type of facilities was available at the time of Dr. Herring, Dr. Kane, and that time the rigorous research and development was going on. Okay, we know all that, and started with the first edition of Organ, and in his lifetime, he actually edited for more 5 times, and finally the sixth edition came. He did not stop with the centesimal potency. He was observing, he was researching, and that's why we got the LM potency. If he was just stick on to his own principles of 1796, then we can't get these all editions of organ and his new thoughts, new observations. So the R&D was going on like the last of the 19th century after the Hahnemann passed away, and the other the enthusiast people like that time of stalwarts, when they also their time also end. After that, somehow this research and development in homeopathy also got stopped, got stagnant, not stopped totally. That was a stagnant phase. So after this stagnant phase also, we are here. The homeopathy is there as a therapeutic system for more than 200 years. And millions of people use homeopathy worldwide. As per Homeopathy Research Institute UK, around 200 million people use homeopathy. As per the 2018 Times of India report, around 59% of people shifted to homeopathy in India. So there is large number of users, large number of practitioners also. And in countries like India, Malaysia, there are institutes, good institutes for training doctors. There are government bodies, there are research councils. So the scenario is far better than the past, in the time of Hahnemann. But still, the system is in
Yeah.
controversy. It is claimed as pseudoscience, not only in Wikipedia. If you go through the sites of Royal Colleges of UK, all the Royal Colleges, you can find that they wrote something like this on homeopathy, and lots of areas, and also in India also. There are lots of conflicts between the systems. So why? Also, we can see that there are sorry, lots of country. Just a minute. Lots of country banning the system of medicine, as like recently we saw. Okay, in UK also there is restrictions on practice on several pathologies or like that, but that scenario is not in India. We are in a very good phase, we can say. But why this type of things is going on when a therapeutic system is there for more than 200 years? The first thing I can tell you that is because the slowdown of the R&D. And the second thing is no one can ban a system of medicine, or no one can tell things pseudoscience if there is ample proof.
Right.
Okay, there is ample proof in clinical side. We can see the lots of users are there, they're getting treated, they're getting cured, lots of happy users are there. But from the point of view of science, from the critical point of view, we can tell that if a cure is obviously ultimate goal, but a patient is taking a medicine and getting well is not a proof because the patient may take any other medications with it, may take any other therapy, and it can get mixed. Okay, so that's why there are things called clinical trials. There are things called fundamental research to understand the mechanism of the drugs and all. There are lots of the things.
Mhm.
Actually, we were talking about antipathy, right? So, what happened after that? The science also develops time by time. Development is the phenomena, and in these 100 years around after the death of Hahnemann and like this 21st century, in between somehow homeopathy did not worked with the scientific development. Okay, so what happened? These all scenarios tell us one thing, that there are good practices, good results, but we should put the things as per the present phenomena. We can just, I sometimes visualize if Dr. Hahnemann was there in 2 days' time, what he will do, what actually what he found out in case of homeopathy, or how he tried to modify homeopathy, because the torturous treatment of 200 years ago is modified now. It's a whole new thing. The whole medical science I'm talking about, the whole procedures, diagnostics, everything evolved. Homeopathy also evolved,
Mm.
but there is somehow lack in this, the balance with the advancement and with our utilization of those advancements. Okay, so if we work on these things, we can unveil the truth. Okay,
Right.
so over to you, Dr. Aditi.
Okay.
I
You
hope
ans-
my points are clear.
yeah, you answered the question well.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. To the next question. Uh, where and why is our system lacking in advancement and standardization in research?
Yeah, this is a very good question actually, because there are lots of things going on, and right now the research is also ample, because I told there are research councils, there are many scientists looking into homeopathy. Students are also interested; they are also participating in the studentship programs and all. And I know very few BHMS graduates who, after their career, choose research as a passion and doing the fundamental research, and also doing the clinical research and all. But there is also a few sectors where we need standardization, because standardization is a phenomena, and you should standardize a system over the time. Okay, in around when there is a changes in the, we can say the paradigm shift, when there is in science there is a paradigm shift in last few decades. So that's why the standardization is also needed. So first, I like to talk about the education and training, because I always believe that the youngest generation is actually having that potential to change or to develop any system, and the older generation, the experienced generation, they are there to guide. So the younger generation have to take the move. So that's why the standardization of the education and training is very much needed. So in education, the especially I'm talking about India, and the countries like Malaysia recently. So the syllabus, the curriculum is really very good. It is like the all medicinal curriculum of 4.5 years of study with 1 year of internship, with all the subjects are there, from anatomy, physiology to pathology, gynecology, practice of medicine, internal medicine, what we call, up to everything is there. But what I feel the lack, I will not say it's the lack of the government bodies or the institution. I will just tell my fellow juniors, or that it's the lack of desire somehow, or it the, I don't know why, but what I felt, I'm telling about my story.
Yeah.
During the BHMS, there was always the subjects like your immunology, molecular biology, genetics, okay,
Hmm.
biochemistry, especially the very basic biochemistry. These all subjects getting neglected by the students. I'm not telling all, but
The most,
the most,
the
yeah,
most untouched
we we
subjects.
we we all experience this, right? The most untouched
Yes, yes.
subject are like this. But we have to understand the whole biology. Okay, we need these subjects. So I think this standardization is needed in the parts of education, that with the clinical subjects, these fundamental subjects also needed to be actually studied and have. If we have the grief on these subjects, we can further move on the research very well, because after
Hmm.
BHMS, there is a direct chance for getting to PhD. I will talk it about later, but there are lots of scope. We are in a very good era right now, and in case of training, I like to tell that we can standardize it in terms of modernization, in terms of modern techniques, in terms of using the whatever available free contents we have. There are lots of, when we started BHMS also, there was not like this in YouTube, or lots of other platforms are there. So students can use those platforms to gain more skills, to actually develop the knowledge, and to be up to date all the times in terms of clinical training, in terms of the knowledge about the basic biology, because everything is integrated. Coming to the next sector, that is the manufacturing and storage. That is actually improved a lot from the time of Hahnemann, because that time there was the hand succussion and all of these, there was no purity test and all. But right now there are lots of newer technologies that getting utilized, from the purity check of the raw material to the product. But what I feel that the standardization need in manufacturing, that is in terms of the uh, labeling, in terms of that what the medicine is containing, because these things are very easier nowadays to test with the spectroscopy of the same index. We can do it very well. So I think that this standardization is needed in the manufacturing, that the contents and how we can check it. Any medicine, if we just remove the label, how we
Hmm.
will check it, that what medicine it is. So those parameters should be included there. And in terms of storage, actually there is now expiry level of homeopathy medicine. This was not before, okay, around 5 years. But within this storage of 1, 2, 3 years up to 5 years, what changes? Because we all know that any chemical it is, whatever it is, there is a change on time. Okay, with time the things changes. So what I feel, with the stories and all, we can do more research on this, and we should also take care of with the policies and all, that how with these expired medicines get destroyed after the expiry, how those things get destroyed, how the shopkeepers are maintaining this. There should be rules and regulations like that, that the medicines used with the you know time, when there is a good properties in this and the best condition. So these things I feel that standardization needed in the storage. Coming to posology and dispensing, we all know that posology is the part of the dosing. So there is lots of, we all know that lots of principles and lots of system of posology. Various practitioners use various types of logic and various types of dosing. So these things also in a scientific system, this thing should be standardized. The dose should be standardized. We all know that homeopathy depends on an individualistic approach, and individual needed different type of doses. But still, if we work hard and if we develop we try to develop a system, we can standardize this posology, and this will be much better for the system. And in terms of dispensing, there the things are that there are good dispensing vials and dispensing system are there right now. We can see, but it's not there everywhere. Okay, so we should follow the whole hygiene, good dispensing bottles, and good way of maintaining this dispensing system to the patient, and how patient is keeping it, how patient is taking it. That education is also needed. So ultimately, if we're telling it's a medicine, so it should be like that. Now coming to the last sector, what I feel that standardization is needed as per the facts I'm telling about, that the clinical practice should be more standardized in the sense that a clinical practice and record keeping, I keep that's why in the same heading, that whatever the results are coming, okay, if a doctor attending 100 patients, that 100 are not getting cured. It's the true story of any system, because all are individual, all are different. Or if they cured also, the result should be kept as per the guidelines. There are guidelines for clinical practice and record keeping. So we should keep those records. The doctor should keep the record, and there is recently a national repository also. So all the clinical practitioners of where they are, the colleges, the private practitioners, all should actually contribute to this repository and should record the cases well, from the first time to the follow-ups, and what are the changes, and also with that, with this treatment, truly the patient was taking what things with it, any other therapy, anything, because it's sometimes needed. So any other therapy, any medicines, what are the diet, so everything should be included there only we can judge the results. Those are not ultimate, obviously the clinical trials are the ultimate for the proof, but these records, these medical records are also very, very essential, because there are millions of users in India and lots of doctors. So if we do this record keeping, this will be a breakthrough. So over to you, Dr.
Right.
Aditi.
Right. Record keeping is very important, for as a proof. No.
Yes,
Okay. So the next question. We all know that homeopathy has been known as nano medicine. There was one study also by IIT Bombay, I think, that
right.
uh,
In 2010,
okay, 2010.
around what
So
I
what?
remember. Yeah.
So what are your views on homeopathy as a nano medicine science?
Yeah, actually, before the IIT study actually was the breakthrough, and after that,
Yeah.
the lab of Dr. Bellary is working till now. They are working on this, and after that, there are a few more research, especially from Dr. Rajendran and all. There are lots of actually research where. In homeopathy medicines, they are finding nanomaterials, not only in inorganic or material drugs. There are papers where they found the nanoparticles in the your vegetable kind of medicines, also with our
Mm.
medicines like lycopodium and all. Okay, so in these kingdoms of medicine also we can get nanoparticles. But the question is homeopathy nanomedicine? Can we call it nanomedicine? So we have to focus on few points, and with the discussion we can understand why I'm talking about. So Uh, in a nanomedicine, if we tell anything as a nanomedicine, there should be a controlled amount of nanoparticles. We should know that in this amount of medicine, what I am making, this much of nanoparticles will be there. And it is very standardized in terms of using nanotechnology to be nanomedicine. There are very standardized techniques where they know that how much and of what size of nanoparticles will be there after the production, and the process should be very standardized. So if we can answer this first point, so one step ahead to call it a nanomedicine, then there should be the check for nano accumulation and nanotoxicity, because the how small the particles are in the nano, they are more reactive. Okay, the whole phenomena from the bulk particle and to the nano, it's totally different. So how nano it is dangerous also. Okay, so that's why nano accumulation and nanotoxicity should be a thing of worry. So there should be check for this, and if there is a we pass with this nano accumulation nanotoxicity studies, then we can tell this, okay, this is a good quality of nanomedicine. So if we can actually qualify this point, the second step ahead to the nanomedicine. Next is the explainable pharmacokinetics. In nanomedicine, we know how nanomedicines are working, what are the phenomena is happening inside the body, how they are reacting. So this explainable pharmacokinetics should be there. So yes, the hope is there. Researchers are working on it, scientists are working on it, and if we can answer these main 3 points someday, so we can call it as a nanomedicine. Over to you, Dr. Diti.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sutanu. Okay. Next question. As you know, this is the research topic, so we will like to know which kind of research studies are required in homeopathy and in what ways are they beneficial for our
Okay,
science.
right.
Hmm.
So I think there are ample research papers are publishing nowadays, and there are good quality researcher also there. But what I like to tell that for doing the research, there should be more BHMS graduate should come into this research field. There are very less percentage actually, because if the BHMS graduates don't come into the research field, if they have no experience of it, who are going to do the research in homeopathy? Scientists of different field are doing, but that's why the number is less. So the BHMS graduates should take this thing, and they should get involved in the research, because the clinical practice is also necessary, but there are lots of expert doctors are there, the clinics is going on well, but if we don't answer the questions, so I think I can't sleep actually when I think of these things, the questions which are there. So that actually generated the passion to know more. Okay, and what we are giving to the patients, we know that it is based on the principles, and sticking to the principles is really good. But with the time, with the advancement, we should explore more. Then we can understand more, and that is thrilling. That there we can explore many new things. Maybe few old things we have to modify, but that is for the good. That by this only the discoveries come. By this only the things getting more standardized, getting more good. So that can be happen only if more people interested in research. The second thing is that more fundamental and double blind clinical trials are needed there, because there are papers where homeopathy did not show good result in clinical trial. And there is a controversy also that in randomized trials uh, is not suitable for homeopathy, because it's an individualistic process of individual drug will differ like that. But we can try with the therapeutics, the therapeutic drug. We have lots of therapeutics. So I know there is preparations for this type of studies are going on, and we should involve more scientists, more people in it, and there needed a very good, not a many, very good double-blind clinical trials. And also the more fund, the more why I'm telling more because few studies are going on, few papers are published also, but we need more fundamental research to understand the pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics of homeopathy. What especially what are the things containing in the medicine? We know the nanoparticles are there. So from where these nanoparticles are coming? In case of metal drugs, we can tell that yes, they are coming from the starting material. But what about the vegetable kingdom drugs? From where? How they are coming? There are hypotheses, there are all the things, but we should test those hypotheses. So the interest of all it's needed in these parts more, and I like to highlight on a thing that is these things should be done on the potencies being used in the clinics because there are lots of good papers where the potency used up to 6C, 12C, like that. There are papers also with 30C to 100C. I'm not telling there are not no papers, but the sorry, the good papers like which are published in good journals, Scopus Index journals or good impact factor journals. Maximum papers are with the low potencies, but we don't use the low potencies in the clinics, right? So the potencies we use, the more study needed on those. And the third point is these papers should publish in only the Scopus Index journals. If that is of a good impact factor, that is good. But minimum the journal should be Scopus indexed. There are a few journals of homeopathy, Scopus index journals, but the others, alternative medicine, complementary medicine, you should check on those journals, homeopathy papers. If you go to publish, you should check from the Scopus website that is they are under index the Scopus or not. If the journals are not Scopus index, they are of very less value. Actually, the readability is not there, acceptability is not there. So if you publish your work in non-Scopus index journal, so the study gets no value like that. So we should keep in the mind, and we should, if we publish good papers, that's are the proof. Those are the proofs. So there are lots of paper retraction happens, and that's of same actually. Paper retraction happens when there is, lots of problem in the study or like that. You can't say in today's world that homeopathy researches can't be published in good journals because if you search, there are published paper in good journals with the name of homeopathy or ultra high dilutions. So it is possible that if you do your study good and if you take courage and try to publish in good journals with good reports and proper study methods, you can publish, and we all should try that.
Okay.
So over to you, Dr. Aditi. Yeah.
What is Scopus Index journals means?
Yeah, Scopus is a indexing system. There you can see that all categories of journals are indexed under this. If you just search about Scopus in Google, you can find it. You all can find it, and we all can see that every year it's get updated. Which journals are indexed there, and what is the number, serial number. That depends on the how good it journal is. If it is a Scopus Index journal, then it's a valid journal. In simple,
Okay.
it is like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what changes can be brought to make homeopathy more acceptable and more, successful? In
Right.
practice.
So for that, I think making it more acceptable, or as more people use it and get benefited, or these all the things of turmoil. If we want to, if we want that these all things go away, this all get its original fame, or the real status. So we should work on ending the controversies. And ending the controversies is only possible by unveiling the truth. Truth can be right, truth can be wrong, truth can be mixed. What is the truth? It's need to be unveiled. I always feel it like that. It's my perspective that if you if you want to prove or disprove anything, you have to work on that. And if
Experiment,
someone is
huh?
telling, yeah,
To
experiment is needed.
yeah. Hmm.
And if someone telling that this paper is against homeopathy, so you should work to see that yes, that is true or not. And there is a thing in research, that is how you can reproduce the result.
Hmm.
With repetition and repetition, is the results are coming same, similar? So these things are needed. So the all drug provings and all, some are getting repeated nowadays, but maximum are very old provings. Okay, and with these all time in this 200 years, the genetics of humans, lots of it's getting modified with the food habit, with the all the things. So what Dr. Hahnemann did 200 years ago, that was revolutionary. That was amazing, because in that time Hahnemann thought about to see, to observe the phenotypical change in the individual persons, to detect, or to actually get what type of medicine that person needed. That was amazing, because that time human genetics, not actually the research or this all whole genetic era was not developed. We did not know of these things at that time. But right now, the genetics got evolved very much. I'm talking about the science. Okay, we have now next generation sequencing. We can now actually individualize persons with the base of their genetic sequencing. There are right now the precision medicine is there. So we also should think on those. The Metra Medica was a beautiful book of that time. So I always actually get inspired by Dr. Hahnemann, because that person was he was a genius of that time. He actually has a lot of knowledge of different fields. But after he passed away, are we working on the R&D? Are we following the path? Following the principle is not enough. We should work on the R&D. Then only we can aim these controversies. We can bring something new, and that is only possible by joining hands. That is only possible by getting united. I visualize a world where all the system of medicines will hold hand and will work for the benefit of the human being, benefit of the living beings, and that is only possible with the experiments, the proofs, with the understanding, and we can see that day very soon if we work hard and if we get united.
Right.
Over to you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the most important question, ki, what is the scope of research after, you know, BHMS course, various courses or fields they can get into? What are the different colleges, or what are the different courses apart from, BHMS? There's one question also: is there any scope for DHMS in research?
BHMS, that is the diploma. So I think the bachelor is needed for anything you want to pursue in higher
Hmm.
education. So after BHMS, if their bachelor, any bachelor course, if the person can do, okay, that can be BHMS, that can be BSc. So after diploma, if convert into this stream, so obviously they can, or they have to see the other procedures, whatever our research councils are telling. So then it's possible. So coming to the
Okay.
scopes for homeopathic graduate, I like to talk about not only research, but also what are the other scopes, what after BHMS students can follow. Because I talk with lot of students are, are attached with me, they call, message me, and at the time of college also, I saw that the people coming into the final year also, they are, some people are very depressed. They see that what we can do. People only opt for MD and the seats are very less, so people actually get depressed. But I think the era we are presently living, there are lots of scope. So first, what I feel, we should set our goal, that why we want to see ourselves after 10 years, 15 years. So regarding that, I will tell the things, and I will just suggest you that how we can you can achieve that. So, if you want to be a practicing doctor, a homeopath, that can be an independent clinic, or it can be job like medical
University.
officers, or like, yeah, yeah. So the first possibility is, first goal anyone can think about, that he or she want to be a practicing doctor, a homeopath, and that can be independent clinic, or a job in a multi-specialty clinic or hospital, or as a medical officer. So if that is the aim, so it's very simple. After BHMS, one also can join. There is lots of exams like UPSC and all, and there is also scope if you train yourself in clinical skills and all. You can do that, and also there is MD. You can pursue that, and after that also you can be a doctor. Then you can think of that a practicing doctor and an independent researcher. So you can start with a team that you will, or with the local bodies, you can be a practicing doctor. With that, you can conduct clinical research. Okay, you can take grants from the research councils also. Okay, the extramural grants and all. There are lots of opportunity people can use it. Next is, if one is passionate about teaching and research both. So, and research in homeopathy, or I can say that homeopathic institutes, homeopathic medical colleges, they want to join. So, they can, after BHMS, they can go for MD, they can go for Ayush Net, they can do the PhD, and they can join any institute, and they can start good research in the institutes. They can motivate the students to be participating in the STSH like programs. These persons can actually open the doors for the research oriented studies, and to actually knowing the science, being the scientific minded. So this, there is lots of possibility in this phase also. Also, I missed one. Sorry, excuse me, please. Yeah, actually the weather is very cold here. Yeah. So we're talking about the independent doctor, and one can be independent researcher also means independent research and sole research that is possible
Dr. Satanu,
with the yeah. Is it not
your
visible?
screen is no screen is not visible.
Okay, okay, okay. Sorry, sorry,
Can you
sorry.
please share it?
Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. So we're
It's
talking
visible.
about yeah, we are talking about practicing doctor that like you can be a research officer also. There is scope in that also, solely in research, and whatever it if you are a doctor for lifetime once you are passing, okay. After that, there is possibility that you can be a professor in any university and you can carry out your research in the fundamental biology or in any other part of medical sciences also. After BHMS, I told that you can not only give the Ayush net, you can also eligible to give the CSIR net. Okay, these exams also you can give. You can be a project fellow because there 5 years graduates are eligible, or you can do MSc in your any relatable subject or any desirable subject. You can complete your PhD postdoc. You can join any university, and you can carry out research in any part of the medical science or biology. Because research is needed in all, but research is nothing but exploring the fields, exploring the things. So it's very thrilling if you want to be in the research. All people don't like research, so for them they can only in the teaching side or only in the practicing side, that's also there. But I'm just talking about the possibilities. So one can join the industrial research also, okay. After BHMS also there is possibilities to join the R&Ds, or after MD or after MSc you can join the R&Ds. You should have a good knowledge on the back. You should and then you can take the trainings. There are lots of trainings are getting provided. There are paid trainings. You can do the internship and all, and then you can get a better opportunity also. You can come to the public health domain by doing MPH. There are also lots of other things. Public health is also a very good thing. There is research scope also. You can come to the emergency medicine. There are postgraduate diplomas available and few MSc in trauma care things also available. If you are like to having a thrilling journey, you can do that. You can go to the nutrition background, okay. If you are very fond of giving the in dietetics in nutrition, you can pursue career in that also. That is also needed because food is the medicine. It's a phrase and it's a very important things for nowadays, for all time actually. For nowadays, this is in demand also. Another thing is psychology. You can go to the totally paradigm shift to the psychology. You can do it. MSc, MPhil, PhD, you can pursue. And this psychology part, I think BHMS graduates can understand well also, and they can perform it well. Because in case of our case taking, what that I feel the best and the most beautiful part in homeopathic treatment. Because in case taking, when you are interacting with the patient for a long time and asking a lot of questions. Once in my internship time, one lady told me that what questions you all asked me and what I answered, my husband also don't know me really well like this. And I never shared these things. I never thought, see, he never asked also, and I never thought to share also. And he just cried. And that cry was like that resentment gone. So that is the that thing is there. So in psychology also you can give good guide and good care to the persons. There is also few newer fields like artificial intelligence, computational biology, where what BHMS graduate can go, and but that should be through MSc, and that's a totally career shift actually. But yes, if someone is interested in artificial intelligence, in computational biology, bioinformatics, because this dry lab research is also very much necessary. From there only the wet lab, the research happens. So this is an emerging field. And lastly, there is also administrative job like the hospital administration. There is things like many few people I also know that they crack the WBCS IS exams also. So that's if someone is passionate about, you should follow your passion. But again, I like to tell you that this system of medicine, this homeopathy, need researchers, need scientific minded graduates, need people to work to unveil. So with that, I like to over to you, Dr. Diti.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Sutanu, for guiding us with the scope of, after BHMS graduation. Uh,
It's my pleasure.
there is one question. I think it is related to the Scopus Index Journal. Uh, Dr. Dr. Sivaramaya Pragati RS is asking, can you name some journals which comes under this category?
Lots of journalists
The
depend
Scopus.
on it depends on the in which category you want to publish. Maybe it's a work on your homeopathy medicines, but maybe it's related to marine biology, maybe it's related to pure pharmacology, maybe it's related to immunology, maybe it's related to gynecology. So on what sector you want to
Mhm.
publish. So depending on your weight of the research, you can choose the impact factor of the journal, and you can see the serial numbers in the Scopus website, and you can choose your journal. It depends on the category of research you want to do.
Okay, I hope the question is answered. Uh, Lena Sixchi is asking ki, is there any homeopathic research institute working? And
Yeah,
how can we join? What is the criteria for joining?
Homeopathy Research Institute means there are council in India like CCRH,
Hmm.
and there in UK there is Homeopathy Research Institute, where I don't know how can you join HRI, but in CCRH you can join as a research officer. Also, like in a student time, you can do like your studentship programs, but with the MD and after Ayushnet PhD, you can get into a premier institute of India, that is IIT Bombay.
Okay.
Okay,
After doing,
they are taking after MD with
huh?
Ayushnet,
Huh?
one can get enter into IIT Bombay as a research scholar, and after MD or after BHMS or after BHMS MSc, if one can crack other national fellowship exams or in the projects, there are project fellows also. If you are with a good CV, means with a good lab exposure, with a good training, so you can get enter into research. That's
Okay.
the main thing.
IIT Bombay provides research in what means? You said.
Research in what it means that that is purely they are taking for homeopathy research only. They are trying to do the Ayush researches. So if one can go to the IIT website, the Department of Biosciences and Bioengineering.
Mm-hmm.
There they mention, and they are taking, I think, from last year. I am not sure about it, but they are taking. It's definite.
Okay.
No other IIT website I actually got this, but IIT Bombay is taking.
Okay. There was
And
one
if you have
question.
one thing I like to tell, if you have a good
Mhm.
postgraduate degree and a research exposure and you are research minded, so definitely you can get entered.
There was also one question. Any other courses? So I think you have told us about the public health and emergency medicine.
Yeah, I may miss some courses. There are lots of things. If you want to totally a career shift, few
Hmm.
people I know who after BHMS did LLB and right now practicing law very well. So those are
LLB.
the, yeah. Anything you are a graduate, you can do again a graduate course. you are a graduate, you can do a postgraduate course, you can do a postgraduate diploma. You have to check the eligibility. And somewhere I like to tell you where there is no eligibility of BHMS you are finding. If you have a good academic score, if you have a good SOP, okay, and if you apply and you know their 5 years graduate are allowed in India, I'm talking about, and in UK, in Canada, in few places, you can apply, you can reach to the interview, and if you crack it, you are done with it, you can get into. So there are scopes. If you have to try, you have to find out.
Okay, okay. The scope in outside India also, as you said.
Yes, 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 there is.
Okay, research institute there. Matlab there are research institute there also outside
Yes,
India.
but I
What
can't
is?
say that you can
Hmm,
pursue research in homeopathy or not, but
hmm.
definitely you can pursue research and you can contribute.
Okay, the research.
Yeah, because
I
that's all
want.
depends on the grant. Okay, that's why.
What
Yeah,
made you shift to this the MSc, not pursuing
okay.
MD?
Yeah. So, what was my desire was to know this human body, the biology, okay, the cellular interactions, the molecular interactions from more deeper level, and to pursue the career in the research. So that's why I accepted. I didn't go for MD,
Mm-hmm.
and rather I came to the MSc.
Okay. Okay. I want to know what is the current scenario like in CCRH? What is the current scenario of research? How is it going? What are the, how many, we don't have much vacancies in the research institute also. And also, what's the pay? Like, matlab the
Yeah,
US of.
I think if you tell me the pay is I think good, and what the things are going on, it's better to actually search in the CCRH website. They always update the things, so they are doing works, and with collaboration with many institutes, the works are going on. So you can find it all from the CCRH websites. And getting into CCRH, I told you that's the RO, that's with the examination. Sometimes you should follow the CCRH websites, all vacancies, they are always listed there actually.
Okay. There is one question, whom to approach for industrial research?
That's the R&D companies, the molecular
Hmm.
biology diagnostic companies, the medicine, pharmacy companies. So you can find out in internet what area you are
Hmm.
looking
Yes.
about, and you can join the R&Ds. If you always, you should have a passion, you should have knowledge, you should have training.
Okay. So, Dr. Sutanu, I think we have come to the end of the webinar. All the
Yeah.
questions being answered by you. You seem a very
And I
learned
hope
person.
this will be, I hope this will be helpful. I just
Huh.
wanted to touch with tell the facts and how we can. That's the main thing, that unveiling the truth that is needed,
Hmm.
and young generations can do it.
Okay. Okay, sir. So this has been a very much informative and wonderful session. Thank you for sharing your personal experience and opinions.
Thank
And
you. Thank
all
you.
the queries have been asked now. So vote of heartful thank again. A thank to you for sharing your knowledge with us. And thanks to
It's my
Unveil
pleasure to
360 and
share.
audience for listening so patiently. It's time to end the meeting. Okay, Dr. Sutanu.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
can
It
end
was my
the
pleasure
session.
to share. Yeah. And
Our
thank you
pleasure
everyone for
also.
joining. Yeah.
Thank you.